Hello there and greetings from Percentilers. This is Mayank Raj Singh and I am bringing to you the second installment of simple equation questions of CAT under the series of topic-wise CAT problems on quantitative ability. Simple equation. So this is a question that came in CAT 1999. This is a pure equations question and I will solve it once by equation. And then there is another method which a lot of people might not be able to understand. Still, I'll try my best. First, the equation method. So expenses of a boarding school it should be depend upon the fixed cost and variable cost. Okay, so let us say the expenses is fixed cost plus n times variable cost, where n is the number of students. Okay, so expenses per student was 700 when there were 25 students. So total expenses per student is given, that is average is given, so we have to find the total expense. Okay, so that is 17,500 when fixed cost remains f and there are 25 students, so 25v becomes the total variable cost. Similarly, it becomes 600 for 50 students, so the total becomes 30,000 where f remains f and this becomes 50v. So calculating these, we can find the value of v. V will be 12,500 divided by 25. So you'll find v as 500 per person. Now if v is 500 per person, you put the value of v and you can find the fixed cost, which comes out as 5,000 rupees. So fixed cost is 5,000 rupees. So we found the variable cost per person and the fixed cost overall. Fixed cost has nothing to do with the number of persons. Now when there are 100 students, the total expenses for 100 students would be fixed cost plus 100 times variable cost. So what do we get? 55,000, which is our D option. So answer is option D. So hope it is understood like this. Now the other solution that I was talking about, I see that when the number of students doubles, okay, then average cost decreases by 100. Now you have to understand that the cost per head includes variable cost, which will never change per head. It is only the fixed cost which must have been halved because the number of students has doubled. Okay, so when it is halved per student, the decrease is 100. That means earlier it was 200 per person, now it is 100 per person, because it has to be divided by 2. Okay, which means the variable cost is always 500 per person. Okay, 500 plus 200 is 700, 500 plus 100 is 600. Okay, so variable cost is 500 per person. Now when the number of students is further doubled, this will be further divided by 2 and that will be added to 500. So per person cost becomes 550 and there are 100 students, that makes 55,000. So guys, please write in the comment section if you first understood what I was trying to convey through this method and if you liked it. Okay, and please also share if you have some amazing different method to solve this question other than the equation and this what I told you. Okay, moving on to the next question, CAT 2000. Before doing this question, I just want to tell you that suppose there are 3 cities X, Y and Z different from this question, just trying to tell you the solution. So suppose there are 2 routes from X to Y and there are 3 routes from Y to Z. What will you do to find the number of routes from X to Z? You will multiply, right? And you will say there are 6 routes and you can count the 6 routes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can literally count that there are 6 routes, and if the counting takes a lot of time, then you just multiply. Okay, so with this, I would like to start with this question. So they make a triangle A, B and C. So they say that 23 direct routes from B to A. So this is 23 direct routes from A to B, between A to B. And A to C, there are 33 total routes, direct and indirect. So let us call the number of direct routes from A to C as X and between B to C as Y. So I would say that total routes between A and C is equal to direct plus indirect, that is A to B to C. Okay, now total routes between A and C is given as 33, direct and indirect together, right? Now direct is x and a to b to c would be 23y. Now since x and y are supposed to be positive integers, alright, so x and y are supposed to be positive integers, there is only one value of y that we can put. If you put y other than 1, say you put y as 2, so you'll get x as negative, which is not possible. So you put y as 1, so x becomes 10. What were you asked? Direct roots from a to c. The value of x was asked, so that comes out to be 10. So clearly the answer is B option. So hope this one is clear. Next question, 2002. Okay, this question we can do by using options and by using equations both. A piece of string is 40 centimeters long. It is cut into 3 pieces. The longest piece, middle sized piece, shortest piece. Okay, so let the shortest piece, middle sized piece and longest pieces be S, M and L centimeters long respectively. So one thing that we know for sure is S plus M plus L is 40. So this is what we do when we read the question. We start making equation and hence we avoid any idea that could generate in our mind other than equation. So let us put all this aside and let us first try out the options thing. They ask you the length of the shortest piece. How can the length of the shortest piece be 27 when the total string was combined lengths? When all the lengths combined, the string was 40 centimeters long. So 27 has no chance. That it is the most stupid option. Now, among 9, 4 and 5. Okay, so the shortest, I picked the smallest number, that is 4. So if the shortest piece is 4, this implies that the longest piece is 27, which is a multiple of 3, which was supposed to happen, and hence the middle sized piece would become 9. So this works. I think this is working. So I repeat, why I picked 4 was because I was supposed to find the length of the shortest piece. Shortest implied the number to be as small as possible. So I first picked 4. If it would not work, I would pick 5, then I would pick 9. So 4 works out. So I think my answer would become 4. However, had I picked 5 first, what would happen? 23 added to 5 would become 28, which is not even a multiple of 3. I would have discarded 5 like that. If I had picked 9, then 23 added to 9 would make 32. Now the sum of shortest and longest itself is becoming more than 40. One reason to discard this option is this, and other than that also 32 is not a multiple of 3. So anyway, any which way you want to work it out, you get the answer as C option. Now let me quickly tell you the equation way, obviously. So they say that L equal to 3 times M and L equal to S plus 23. Okay, so our job is to put everything in terms of S so that we are able to find the value of S, or we can also find the value of L and hence find the value of S. In place of S, I can write L minus 23. In place of M, I can write L by 3. And in place of L, there is anyway L. So that becomes 40. Now I can multiply the entire equation by 3. So that would make, so I can write 7L by 3 equal to 63. And that would mean L by 3 equal to 9. So L equal to 27. So if the longest piece is 27, the shortest piece would be equal to 4. So I get the answer as 4. So the answer becomes C option. Hope this works out. Moving on to the next question. Again, CAT 2002. Now, had you been a percentiler's CAT student, this question you would not need to even write, and just by looking at the numbers and the requirement, you would have just marked the answer, which I am keeping in suspense. So there are 10 numbers, only one created the difference, only one number changed everything, rest 9 numbers remaining the same. So the average was affected by 1.8, that means the sum changed by 18. So there are 10 numbers. If the average of 10 numbers was changed by 1.8, the sum must have changed by 18. And all that happened because one number was changed in this way by interchanging its digits. So in our class we have discussed this at length, that what happens when you interchange the digits of a 2-digit number. So the change that happens, which is 18, It is 9 times the difference between the digits. Now people who do not understand what is this and where does this come from, I strongly recommend them to watch our video on simple equation. So the difference between digits clearly is 2, and to do this you did not need to write so much. This is in your mind if you know the trick, the technique. So the answer clearly becomes second option. Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, this also you would understand by watching our video, and our students already know that by saying that the system of linear simultaneous equations has at least one solution, what they mean by this is that the equations are consistent, and if the state equations are consistent, they will work together. You know, suppose a plus b is 10, and at the same time if I write a plus b is 12, now they will never work. They will never ever work. Okay, the pair of a and b which is satisfying the first equation will never satisfy the second equation. So these equations are not simultaneous, okay, or they are inconsistent. Otherwise, you know, something would have worked, like 6 times first equation is equal to 5 times second equation, but it is not so. So here, if the equations are consistent, one of these options will work out with these equations and will get us our answer. Okay, so let me try the first option, 5p. I will work out one by one with each variable. So 5p implies for x, it will be 5x minus 2q, that would mean minus 4x, and minus r, that would mean minus 1. Does it become 0? Yes, x part is becoming 0. Let me quickly check for y then. 5p would mean 10y, minus 2q would mean minus 12y, and minus r would mean plus 2y. Yes, this is also becoming 0. Wonderful. Let me just quickly check for z then. If it works out for z also, I think I have found my answer. So 5p means minus 15z, minus 2q means plus 22z, and minus r means minus 7z. Bingo, this is my answer. And as you see that the coefficients are same everywhere, 5, 2, 1, and only the signs are changing. So if it is working out with option A, there is absolutely no point checking out the other options, and this option suggests that the equations are simultaneous and they will give you at least one solution. So the answer clearly becomes option A. Moving on to the next one, and the last question of the video. This also came in CAT 2003. Okay, so this question basically is based on special equations. Special equations are the ones in which the number of variables does not match the number of equations. Still, we do get a unique answer or a shortlisted set of answers instead of getting the infinitely many answers. So suppose the number of correct answers is C, the number of wrong answers is W, and unattempted be U. So first equation that I get is C plus W plus U is equal to 50. Understand that C, W and U are the numbers of questions. Okay, now second equation about the marks. He got 32 marks by getting C marks out of correct answers, minus W by 3 out of wrong answers, and minus U by 6 out of unattempted question. So rephrasing the second equation into 6C minus 2W minus U is equal to 192, and rewriting the first equation again, C plus W plus U is equal to 50. Adding the two equations, I would get 7C minus W is equal to 242. Okay, in turn I get C equal to 242 plus W by 7. Okay, simplifying this expression little. Now looking at this equation between C and W being the number of correct answers and the number of wrong answers, what do you think would be the smallest possible value of W so that C becomes an integer? I think it is 3, and so we clearly get the answer as C option. So they asked us that the number of wrong answers cannot be less than. They did not ask us the exact value of wrong answers because there are many possibilities. So after 3 there could be 10 wrong answers also. At 10 also C is coming out to be a positive integer, W is anyway a positive integer. Okay, so the minimum was asked, so we have a unique answer, that is C option. So this is called special equation approach. Hope it is understandable. However, there is one more way out. So they are asking us the minimum possible value of the number of wrong answers. Okay, so marks are fixed as 32 and number of questions is also fixed as 50. So I'm going to try each option starting from the smallest because we have to find minimum. So I am just trying out by the option. Suppose we did not know how to solve equation. So suppose the number of wrong answers is 3. Okay, so 3 wrong answers have already fetched me -1. Now I have to earn 33 marks to get this score of 32. Okay, so how can I get 33 marks out of 47 questions so that I divide the 47 questions between correct answers and unattempted questions? Okay, so out of 47 questions, if I answer all 47 correct, okay, if I get all 47 correct, I get 47 marks. Okay, but I have to get 33, so I have to subtract 14 marks. Okay, now if I convert 6 of these questions that I have answered correctly into unattempted ones, 6 correct answers into unattempted ones, so I lose 6 marks and I also lose 1 more mark. So if I convert 6 correct into 6 unattempted, this implies losing 7 marks. So I think it is working out because I was supposed to lose 14 marks. So I think 12 questions should be converted. So out of 47 correct answers which I was giving, I need to lose 12 of them and let them be unattempted. So this way I get to know the number of correct answers, which is 35, the number of wrong answers which I have already taken as 3, and the number of unattempted questions also I get to know as 12. Okay, so this is one approach. Had you tried any other option, okay, if you want I can show it to you. Yeah, this remains constant, that 6 correct answers are converted into 6 unattempted to make us losing 7 marks. So if I took another option, that is 6, so 6 wrong answers have already given me -2, so I have to score 34 positive marks so that my final score becomes 32. Now how many questions are remaining? So out of 50 questions, 6 I have already done wrong, 44 remaining. Now if all 44 all correct will all give me 44 marks, but I need to go -10 marks. And you can see that to keep it in integer, I can only convert 6 correct answers into 6 unattempted. And this way I lose 7 marks. So I do not have anything that can make me lose 10 marks. So I can only lose marks in the multiples of 7. That was not possible. So this tells you that 6, 12 and 9 1 by 1 would not. Anyway, had you tried 3 in the first place, you would have got the answer. So this is not the best and the most satisfying approach, but yes, this is also an approach for the people who did not know the special equation solution. So guys, this would be all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please do write to us about the different and new innovative solutions that you are seeing in these videos, and we would love to read your feedback about the same. You can also post us questions which you want us to solve by new innovative methods, all in the comment section. You can also join our very active WhatsApp groups. You can contact us on the given links in the bio of the video. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for watching the video. This is Mayank Raj Singh signing off. See you again in the next video.